What's going on YouTube? My name is Benny. Welcome back to another video. Please don't mind the giant box as well as all my tools in the background. I am starting a new career as an automotive technician.
Wow.
So I just haven't had the chance to set up my tools in the shop yet. So
What is that?
I've recently been playing a couple games on the channel. If you haven't watched those yet, go check them out. Those were fun to make. But I wanted to get back into talking about music again, and I wanted to start with Imagine Dragons. This video is going to be explaining why I think they are overly hated, as well as kind of dissecting briefly their album Smoke and Mirrors, which I think is their best work. Everybody knows Imagine Dragons now for their songs like Believer, or Radioactive, or Thunder, or Demons, or, you know, all of that stuff. All of the radio singles. But they are so much better than their singles. So I wanted to take some time today just to briefly go over their album Smoke and Mirrors and my favorite songs off of there, and kind of explain why I love them so much and why I think they should be taken seriously in today's music scene as they have held up. I will say too, their newer music, especially their new record Loom, definitely gives validation to the Imagine Dragons haters, hootin' and hollerin' core. But, you know, I would say from the formation of the band up until about Evolve, you know, maybe the album after, Origins, they have held their own.
Imagine Dragon these nuts.
Yeah, every time I wore an Imagine Dragons shirt at school, I heard that dumbass joke. So, if you couldn't tell, it's a different day. I had to go do a bunch of stuff for my new job, and I've been kind of busy. One of those things being a drug test, which I failed. No, I'm just kidding. Regardless of what day it is, you're watching this on the same day. Anyway, so diving back into Smoke and Mirrors. I think overall, this was their most instrumentally profound record. A lot of people's complaints about this band is that they are categorized as rock, and, you know, they constantly have, you know, top 10 hits on rock radio. You know, a lot of people's complaints are that this band is not a rock band. They mostly rely on electronics or drum machines or things like that. And a lot of people will point to their most recent live performances as the band really not being as involved as the electronic sound in their music. I think this record really brings out the actual instrumentation and talent of the band. You hear a lot of really creative and cool guitar riffing, and a lot of people also complain about Dan's vocals, that he just like screams and wails, which I mean, I can't deny. He definitely has in a couple songs, but on this record, I think he stays away from that and tries to make his voice sound as genuine and passionate as possible, but it doesn't sound like he's trying to do that. It just naturally comes off that way, and that's one thing I love about this record. I will say, you know, as someone who's a fan of every single genre except country, okay? Little side note, I only like 3 country artists, okay? Rascal Flatts, listen, I grew up with them, okay? My grandma loved them. I got a soft spot for them. Alan Jackson, because damn can that guy sing. And Garth Brooks. I think Garth Brooks has made a lot of really good songs that represent what the genre actually is and should sound like. But besides that, I don't like country. You know, I like hardcore, I like metal, I like pop, I like house, I like rap, I like literally everything. So I think Imagine Dragons, especially with this record, catered to the people who kind of listen to everything. There's actually like 2 or 3 songs on this record where Dan like screams. He has like a metal scream, which is kind of cool. One of those songs being Friction, which was sadly used in a Mission Impossible movie. Tom Cruise is overrated. Scientology sucks. With that being said, I do love every genre, and I think if you are somebody who enjoys genres outside of metal or hardcore or things like that, or that scene, I genuinely think you would get some enjoyment out of this album. I'm not saying it'll be a 10 out of 10 front to back for you, but I think there definitely is some really key songs in here that would be something you enjoy. So I kind of just want to go over my highlights. I'm going to skip the first few songs because, to be honest, with this record, I think they saved all of the best songs for the middle and end of the album. But I want to start with Polaroid, which is track number 6. That song really grabs your attention. I know I say this about a lot of other songs, but I love a good song that grabs you from the start. You're not waiting the whole song for that one part at the end. And Polaroid does it, but they also have such a great closing chorus to the song. And Dan's voice really reaches some like high notes in this song that really showcases his actual talent. Now moving on, I did mention Friction, which is the track after that. Probably top 3 on this album is track number 8, which is It Comes Back to You. This song is so, how do I describe it? It's like rolling down a hill with your friends in an early 2000s summer movie. Like this song, I used to bump this in 9th grade when I first entered high school. I used to have this album on repeat, but especially these last few songs on the record. And It Comes Back to You, I would play as I would like walk up to school, be like, yeah, I can do it. I also think the instrumentation on this song is pretty fun. It gives off a very song of the summer vibe.
Oh my gosh, you guys, did I just make this song of the summer?
I hate saying that, but it does. This is the kind of song you listen to when you're with your friends, with the windows rolled down, driving to the beach. If you get what I'm saying, you'll get it, but if not, just go listen to it. Okay, so I'm going to skip to the last 3 songs on this album, and the next one is Summer. Literally the same exact kind of vibes as It Comes Back to You. Except I think the verse structures and the way Dan sings his lyrics on this song are the most creative on the whole album. He has this really cool flow that showcases his unique writing and skill on this track, but there's really not much else to say on it. I think it really matches the same vibes as It Comes Back to You. This was the move that made LeBron cry. I just wanted to mention real quick, I do have the Evolve logo tattooed on my arm. And I did go see this band live in 2019. That was my last concert before COVID hit. With my ex-girlfriend, unfortunately. Sad to say, she dumped me like 2 or 3 days later after we bought her concert tickets and drove her out there. Savannah, if you're watching this, you have terrible timing. Now, Hopeless Opus is the next song. When I first heard this song in 9th grade, I actually thought it was really cheesy, but now I think it is fun in its own right and original in its own right. Hopeless Opus, I think, is such a really cool, structured song. The opening with like the chimes or bells with the syncopated guitar in the background, as well as the drumming on this song, is really, really good and punchy. I also think the soft bridge that brings you back into the chorus of this song is really touching, to be honest. Overall, it's really, really solid. Then we get to the last track, which is The Fall. Now, for all of my mathcore, math rock guys, gals out there, they, thems, this is the Imagine Dragons song for you, okay? It opens up with a very weirdly timed siren almost, or like an alarm. It's a key staple of the sound of the whole song, and it had my attention because I was trying to follow what it was doing. And I think the way that that sound and the cool effects that they used in this song progressed made for an extravagant closing to the album. I also think, in my opinion, this is one of the most emotional songs that Imagine Dragons has ever done. It really pulls on my heartstrings. I also love the lyrics to this song. If you're not going to listen to the song, at least look up the lyrics. A lot of people complain about Imagine Dragons being like coworker music, and, you know, all of their lyrics are so bland and boring. It's like they were written by ChatGPT or something. Like I said, for their newer stuff, I can agree, unfortunately. But for this song, the talent of the band is just so good. Oh my gosh, it just, the final magnum opus, I guess, going back to using that word. This was such a strong way to end this record. These guys are talented. They are talented. They could write good music, and it really does hurt my soul when I see the direction they're going now and what they're writing now and what they're putting out to the world now. and sadly what people are latching on to now from this band, when instead their focus should be on this song and this record. If you hate Imagine Dragons or are a self-proclaimed Imagine Dragons hater but haven't listened to this album, I don't respect your opinion. I don't respect your opinion. I'm sorry, man, but if you don't give this album a chance as somebody who may enjoy most genres, I think you're just saying it because it's easy to bash on them, not because you actually have a strong and solid opinion on this band. It's like the Nickelback stuff, you know, everybody was hating on Nickelback for years and years and years, and now people are kind of coming around like they did with Limp Bizkit, and they're like, I mean, it's pretty good. Do the same freaking thing with this band, please, okay? Just give it a listen, dude. I've always had the policy, or the motto, really, of if it's good music, it's good music.
Morgan Wallen sucks.
I think that if you hate on Imagine Dragons but haven't listened to this record, you're kind of a pick-me, and you just want people to agree with something you say. Now, if you have listened to this album and their other stuff and still don't like it, I respect your opinion. If you actually took the time and gave this record a listen, or are doing that now from watching this, you know, for the 5 subscribers I have, and are actually taking the time or have taken the time to listen to this record specifically, and still come back and are like, I just don't see it, man. I don't see the appeal. Totally fine, man. Totally fine, okay? Unfortunately, there's a lot of bands out there I feel the same way about. A lot of people are talking about Turnstile right now. Even Hayley Williams, who I love with all of my heart, is such a huge supporter of this band. I don't get it. I don't really like Turnstile. It's just not really bringing anything to the table for me. Regardless, with all of that being said, please give this band a chance, okay? Don't just hate on them because it's fun to hate on them. If I say anything online or say anything to the people that I know about a musician or band, it is because I have listened. It is because I have researched, or it's because I've looked into it, and that's how I form my opinion. If you form your opinion just off of someone telling you what you should think, you should probably think a little bit. Do your own research, form your own opinions from that research, and I hope just me rambling on about this has helped change your mind just a little bit, or shift your perspective on this band a little bit, because I really do love them, man. It's sad to see, unfortunately, the direction they're going now, and their new music is like Benson Boone core pretty much.
Which unfortunately I figured out Imagine Dragons were the people who signed Benson Boone and promoted him.
Regardless, early Imagine Dragons was the shit, okay? All the way until, like I said, Evolve or Origins, I think they were still creative and in their element and doing what they love to do. And what I think they're doing now is catering and doing what their label tells them, because they have enough money and their lives are good enough to not really write passionate or well-written or well-structured music anymore. It's music for the masses, it's music for the grocery store, it's music for Target, it's not really music to actually listen to in your own free time. Thank you for taking the time to just watch my video. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe or just go watch my other ones, because I love talking about music. Have a great day.